Hello everybody, it's Sarah, and today I wanted to do the A to Z Bookish Survey Tag. Sadly, I could not find the creator of this tag, and I also wasn't tagged by anybody, but I saw Vanessa from Paper Fairy do this tag last week, and I have wanted to do it for a long time, and she tagged everybody, so I'll leave her video in the description box. With that said, let's get started. A. Author you have read the most of. And for me that is Laurel K. Hamilton. I have read 26 of her books if I counted correctly. B. Best sequel. This question was very difficult for me because most of the times I find that the sequels, or at least the second books in a series, are the ones that I like the least. And I really tried finding another book. I really did, but I ended up picking Heir to the Shadows by Anne Bishop, which is the second book in the Black Jewel series. It's just, when I read the first book, I was like only confused. I did not know what was going on. And as soon as I started the second book, suddenly everything clicked. And I understood everything, and it was so amazing, and it was so funny because the first book was really dark, and then the second book had a lot of lighter tones, and that just made it perfect. C is currently reading, and I am currently reading Magnus Chase, The Sword of Summer by Rick Riordan. D is drink of choice while reading, and I don't drink a lot while reading, but I would have to say probably tea or hot cocoa. E is e-reader or physical book, and I'm not going to get into this. Let me just say I hate e-readers. I can see that they might be practical, but I am just against them, and even if I travel, I will never own an e-reader. F, fictional character I would have realistically dated in high school, and for me that is none. I cannot think of one fictional character that I would have dated. Maybe Anna, if you're watching, tell me in the comments what fictional character I would have dated in high school. G is glad you gave this book a chance, and for me that has to be A Song of Ice and Fire, or the first book Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin, because when I watched the first series, I did not even finish the first series. I thought at the beginning that most of the characters were pretty annoying, and all the characters that I found interesting were evil. And of the book I just heard that it was just very long-winded and boring and so much information. But then I gave this book a chance, and it has become one of my favorite books ever. H is a hidden gem book, and I am going with Gretel and the Dog by Eliza Granville. I is important moment in your reading life, and for me that was the first time when I cried while reading a book. I was about 12, I think, and I ran to my mother because I didn't know what was going on. I was just reading and suddenly I'm crying, and what's happening? And she didn't tell me that it's just a story, but she told me that it's okay to be invested in a story, and it's okay to cry when a story makes you sad. And I think that really formed the way I am reading even now. J is just finished, and I just finished rereading Tangled Webs by Anne Bishop, which is the 6th book in the Black Jewel series. K is kinds of books you won't read, and for me that's cutesy contemporary. I am just not at all interested in reading a cutesy contemporary story. L is longest book you've ever read, and for me that's the Castings trilogy by Pamela Freeman. This is a bind-up of all 3 books, but if that doesn't count, I guess it would be Storm of Swords by George R.R. Martin. M is major book hangover, and for me that's just going to be any series that I read. But probably the most after The Infernal Devices, I guess. N is number of bookcases I own, and I own 4 small Billy bookcases and 2 big Billy bookcases, which are like this size, here in my room, and then I have one more big bookcase at my mother's place, as well as a big chest full of books. O is one book you've read multiple times, and I am a huge rereader. But I guess, I really don't want to say this all the time, but I guess the book that I have read the most, well, I don't guess, I know, is the Black Jewel series. P is preferred place to read. I read on my bed. Q is quote that inspires you or that gives you the feels. And for me, the most inspiring quotes are the quotes from Anne Bishop's Ephemera series, and one that I love in particular are opportunities and choices, which basically means that the opportunity will come, but it's your choice if you take it or don't take it, and if you don't take it, you can't blame anyone else. R is reading regret, and here I have to steal Vanessa's answer, because I just finished the Percy Jackson and the Heroes of Olympus series, and I really liked it, but I was really into, like really, I was obsessed with Greek mythology when I was about 8 to 12 years old and a little bit older. So it would have been the perfect age for reading Percy Jackson, and I think I would have loved it so much, and it's just so sad that I didn't get around to reading it. S is series I need to finish, and for me that's the Harry Potter series because I only read up to the 5th book. T is 3 all-time faves, and I'm not going to name the Black Jewels. I tried choosing some books that I maybe haven't mentioned too often in my videos. One is the Hydron Chronicles, which I know I have mentioned a lot, but not as much as some others of my favorite series. Then the Black Magicians series, I think it's called, by Trudy Canavan, and The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. U is unapologetic fangirl for almost everything, although I don't really like fandoms, and I don't like calling myself a fangirl. V is very excited for this release, and right now I'm very excited because I didn't think that this was going to come out this soon, because I just read the book before that, and that's the second book in the Wax and Wayne series, and I think it was published today in the US, and in Austria to my bookshop it's going to be released, and I can buy it the day after tomorrow. And I'm just like, what, 3 months ago that the Shadows of Self was published, and now we already have the next book, and it just makes me so excited. W is worst bookish habit. Now, personally, I don't think I have a bad bookish habit, but I'm sure there are a lot of people who it pains to see my books that beat up. X is X marks the spot. Start on the left top of your shelf, and I think it's 27 books in. 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. And that book is Belladonna, which is the second book in the Ephemera series by Anne Bishop. Y is your latest book purchase. For me, my 2 latest book purchases, which I bought at the same time, is Magnus Chase, as well as this non-fiction book, which is the history of books in 100 books. And Z is Sea Snatcher, or Sad Snatcher, like sleep, no sleep. For me, those are all of Brandon Sanderson's books. I have read most of those books in one sitting, even though they are all really thick, and they all kept me awake until way past 4 in the morning. So that's it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Tell me your answers to some of those questions, and so I hope I'll see you soon, and kiss kiss!